done, lads. Congratulations to you. We really messed up this stage. We were aiming for a stage win, and we didn't... Hi guys, welcome to this Vlaanderen Classic briefing. As usual, you'll be on narrow roads, you'll climb steep cobblestone hills, and you'll fight for a place as best you can. We're here for victory.
Hello and welcome to all. Welcome to the start of one of the monuments of the cycling season, the Vlaanderen Classic. It's a race for true specialists, with its narrow roads, cobblestone hills and never-ending changes of direction. This Belgian Classic only crowns a Highly talented rider.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. The peloton doesn't seem to want to let the lead group get away. Some teams must think that there are too many people up front.
The gap is decreasing. The peloton has not given up. One minute for the breakaway. It's looking good.
The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily.
Last time check with the breakaway. 1 minute. The gap between the peloton and the escapees is stable. The breakaway is losing ground.
The peloton doesn't seem to want to let the lead group get away. Some teams must think that there are too many people up front.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The riders are coming to the first feed zone. The race will then enter a more intense phase with the appearance of the first short climbs along the riders' route. The breakaway's over. It's start all over again.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
Last time check with the breakaway. 1 minute. Now it's the Edelarberg that rises up before the riders. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. Another hill, the Wolvenberg. Only 650 meters, but an average slope of almost 8%. At the top, the riders will be straight onto a cobblestone sector that is 1,500 meters long. Excluding cobblestone hills, the riders are now onto the penultimate cobblestone sector, Haaghoek, 2,000 meters. It will be immediately followed by the Leberg, a 950-meter hill with an average slope of 4.2%. The next hill, Ten Bosse, lies within the municipality of Brakel. It is one of the rare hills that sits inside a town. The riders will soon be at the Mecca of cycling, the Muur van Gerardsbergen. Now that it's far from the finish, its role as final arbiter, climbed inside the final kilometers, no longer applies. But it still remains a strategic location that could decide the race.
The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race.
The breakaway is unlikely to go all the way, guys. Watch out for counter moves.
The riders are all back together. Everything will be played out in the final kilometres. The second feed zone is in sight for the front of the race. Serious business will soon begin with a succession of closely spaced hills.
Come on, guys. Catch him. He's a danger for the... stage win.
Bunched peloton. Now the canal. Freeberg stands before the riders. 1 kilometre on an average slope of 6.5%. From the top, the riders will drop down into the town of Kluisbergen for a second ascent to the Oude Kvaremont.
Come on, guys. Catch him. He's a danger for... the stage win. Okay, I'll consume a feed.
Now on towards the Paterberg for the front of the race.
They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
Now it's the Paterberg, the shortest hill on the route. Only 360 metres, but also the steepest with its average slope of 12.9%.
Watch out! You're not going to be able to attack for much longer. Watch out! You'll soon have no more energy to attack.
The riders are at the foot of the daunting Koppenberg, 600 metres at an average of 12% and a maximum slope of 22%, a real wall.
He has no more teammates, and he's driving himself to retain his chances of winning the stage. Come on, guys, catch him. He's a danger for the stage win. You've got to ride him down. He's dangerous for the stage.
The race will now take to the final cobblestone sector on the route. It has the particularity of harbouring a hill that sits in the middle of the sector, the Steenbeek Dries.
Watch out. You're not going to be able to keep up this pace for very long. You risk a blow-up. Reduce speed a bit, otherwise you'll hit the wall.
There are only 4 hills left to climb. The Tyenberg, the Kruisberg, Oude Kvaremont and the Paterberg. It's the turn of the Tyenberg to be climbed by the riders. Greg van Avermaet is a top specialist in one-day races. If Paris-Roubaix and the title of Rio Olympic champion are his most prestigious victories, he's also won Paris Tour, Montreal, Ghent, Wevelgem and the Grand Prix E3.
Allez, vas-y. Allez. Allez. On lâche rien. Hop, hop, hop. Los. Go. Go. Basta, basta.
He has no more team. chances of winning the stage.
Weiter!
The Kreuzberg is 2.5 kilometres long, an average of only 5%, but after 240 kilometres in the saddle, it will surely appear too much for many riders.
Kommen Sie! Weiter so, Jungs! Ihr schafft das! Macht das!
He has no more teammates, and he's driving himself to retain his chances of winning the stage.
The final climb of the Oude Kwaremont has begun. 30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The lead rider has 30 seconds on the favourites.
Haut rein! Weiter so, Jungs! Gut so! Haut rein, Leute! Ihr schafft das! Weiter so, Jungs! Rein, Leute! Macht Dampf, Jungs! Weiter so, Jungs!
Got his team riding because he's a favourite for the stage. You should get rid of him.
Lone rider goes over the top of the Oude Kwaremont. Now on towards the Paterberg. The last hill of the day, the Paterberg. At the top, there will be 13 kilometres before the finishing line is reached.
He's after you because he must be thinking about the stage win. Come on, don't let him catch up. You have 30 seconds on the peloton.
At the top of the Paterberg, nobody's been able to put one over on his opponents.
The favourites are 1 minute behind your group.
Weiter so, Jungs!
10 kilometres. You'll have trouble seeing it through to the end. He's got his team riding because he's a favourite for the stage. You should get rid of him.
Haltet euch an! Gut so! Haut rein, Leute!
You are 30 seconds ahead of the favourites group. Just 5 more kilometres. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the peloton.
Come on, guys!
Come on, 5 kilometres. You can do it.
He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out.
Rein, Leute! Ihr schafft das!
Lass derrière! Allez!
Counter-attack at the front of the peloton.
Last kilometre. Don't look back. The peloton is right behind you. This is the last kilometre. Go, go! One more effort.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want an ovation for the...
Hi guys, welcome to this Paris-Roubaix briefing.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to one of the main events of the cycling season, the mythical Paris-Roubaix. With its flat terrain and numerous cobbled sectors, this classic offers an atypical route where a rider's condition is as important as luck if he is to hope for victory. With more than 260 kilometers on the menu, it takes qualities of extraordinary endurance to hope for a win today. The time gap with the head of the race is stable. The breakaway is losing ground. The first sectors of cobblestone are approaching. While it is still too early to make any big moves, the pace of the race should accelerate. The sectors are classified according to a system of stars and colours. The most difficult to cross are rated as 5 stars and are recognisable by the black markers that designate the entry. The breakaway is losing ground. At the end of the next sector, the riders will reach the first feed zone. A few moments of rest before facing the remaining 23 sectors. Here we go again, from Vertin to Saint-Martin-sur-Écaillon, a 2,300 metre sector is awaiting the riders.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily.
The breakaway is losing ground. Another 100 kilometers for the front of the race. Tension will soon be at its maximum. With the trench of Arenberg coming up in a few kilometers, now's the time to move to the front. The first riders are leaving the trench of Arenberg. It's time to take stock of the damage and the forces still present, to see who will put his stamp on the race.
The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
The riders are all back together. Everything will be played out in the final kilometers. The leading riders have now crossed half of the cobbled sectors. There are only 4. Left. The front of the race is now entering the second feed zone. Then it will be the Beuvry-la-Forêt to Orchy sector that awaits the riders.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
It's now the turn of the Orchy sector to welcome the riders. Is 1,700 meters of cobblestone. Sector 11 has begun. 2,700 meters from Auchy-les-Orchy to Bercy. The race is entering the final 50 kilometers. The next sector is none other than Mont-Pével, classified as a difficulty 5 and 3 kilometers long. This sector is often described as an ordeal. When it's over, some riders will certainly be eliminated from the list of prospective winners. The leading riders are now onto a short sector, 700 meters between Mérigny and Avelin. The next sector from Pont-Thibault to Ennevelin is 1,400 meters long. And carries a 3-star level of difficulty. A 2-star sector is now on the menu. The difficulty of the sectors will then increase until the Carrefour de l'Arme. 30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The next 2 sectors, classified as 3 stars, are only 1 kilometre apart. The riders won't have time for a breather. The riders are now heading towards the Confins Pével and Carrefour the Larbre sectors, both often proving decisive for final victory. Now it's Carrefour de l'Arme. With its 5-star difficulty, this is the last sector that really provides a chance to hurt one's opponents. Very often, the first rider out of this sector goes on to win in Roubaix.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
Penultimate sector for the leading rider. There's only 1 sector left for the rider at the front.
He has no more teammates, and he's driving himself to retain his chances of winning the stage.
Da kommen sie! Haut rein! Weiter so, Jungs!
Oh, excellent! Come on, fellas!
Continue comme ça! Weiter so, Jungs!
Allez les gars, courage!
Yeah, great stuff! Come on, guys! Yeah! Brilliant! All right! Yeah, faster! Come on, guys!
Haltet euch ran! Weiter so, Jungs!
Allez les gars, on continue.
Here's the last sector, 1,400 metres from Willems to Hen. When it's done, there will only be 6 kilometres left before reaching the velodrome.
Continue comme ça! Haut rein!
Courage, on continue. Allez les gars, courage. Allez, courage les gars, allez plus vite. On continue.
Haltet euch ran! Haltet euch ran! Rein, Leute! Weiter
Allez les gars, on continue comme ça.
Allez les gars, courage.
Last time check with the breakaway, 1 minute.
Allez, courage les gars.
Another 5 kilometres for the lead rider. He mustn't let up because he doesn't have much of a lead. to the velodrome. One more lap and it's the finish.
The breakaway is at the red pennant.
Allez, courage les gars.
He has managed to tame the...
Hi guys, welcome to this Liège-Bastogne-Liège briefing. There's no point...
Hello and welcome to Belgium for one of the most eagerly awaited classics of the year, Liège-Bastogne-Liège. With its very demanding route that takes in numerous short climbs, this monument is the holy grail for all punchers.
Guys, that again. The closing kilometers. You've got to keep plenty in the tank for the final climbs and make no unnecessary exertion. Otherwise you'll pay the price straight away. The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
It's the first climb of the day, the Côte de la Roche en Ardennes. Of course, it's far too early to see an attack by any of the favourites.
You must constantly try to shelter from the wind so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race.
The front of the race is now going through Bastogne, from where the riders turn back towards Liège. There are 150 kilometers left in the race.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
The breakaway has reached the very steep Côte de Saint-Roch, 1 kilometre on an average slope of 11%. The riders will then enter the first feed zone. The breakaway is losing its lead. It's going to be difficult for them. The riders are now going through Vielsalm, a town that marks a new phase in the race, because from now on, climbs will come one after the other, right to the finish. A new difficulty along the rider's way with the Côte de Vannes. 3.6 kilometers on an average slope of 5.1%. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton.
Allez les gars, courage!
The first riders are beginning the Côte de Stocco climb. Only 1 kilometre, but the average gradient is over 12%. After more than 170 kilometres, the distance might begin to weigh heavily on some legs. The riders are about to climb the Col du Rosier. At almost 4.5 kilometres, it's the longest ascent on the route. At the top, there will be 60 kilometres to go. The riders will be able to take a feed and have a quick breather before starting on the final portion of the race, and its 4 remaining difficulties: the Col du Maquisard, Côte de la Redoute, Côte des Forges and the Roche au Faucon.
Come on, lads. We'll soon be at La Redoute. Stay up front because it's narrow and you've got to be well placed. Go on. Hang on in there.
With its 2 kilometres at almost 9% and sections at 20%, the Côte de la Redoute is a true wall. It's a moment to turn the screw or to abandon all hope of victory. We'll have to keep something in reserve if we want to get away in the final kilometres.
It is not always a good idea to be too many in a breakaway, as the others will not necessarily want to cooperate with us.
Penultimate difficulty of the day for the peloton. Côte de Forges.
Here we go! Here we go! Come on! Allez les gars, courage!
Allez, bravo les gars,
Allez, les gars.
courage les gars.
Allez!
Da kommen sie, haut rein!
Ihr schafft das! Da kommen sie!
Allez les gars! Allez, courage les gars, allez plus vite!
Allez les gars, allez les gars!
Continuez comme ça!
man at the front will soon be onto the Rochefoucauld. If he goes over the top alone, he can start to think of victory. He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out.
He's after you because he must be thinking about the stage win. Come on, don't let him catch up. You have 30 seconds on the peloton. A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer.
The Rochefoucauld didn't see any rider make a getaway, but there's still a long rising false flat on which to edge clear. If that doesn't do it, it's likely to be decided in a sprint. The road is now free of climbs. The riders will soon be onto the big boulevards, and so it will be almost impossible to surprise one's opponents.
Okay, we'll consume a feed.
Allez les gars, courage!
Counter-attack at the front of the peloton.
Gut so, haut rein, Leute!
Lâchez rien! Allez!
Allez, les gars, courage!
Continuez comme ça!
Continue!
Les voilà!
Go, go!
Allez les gars!
Super! Keep going! Here we go!
Haut rein! Mach Dampf, Jungs! Mach Dampf, Jungs! Weiter so, Jungs! Haut rein, Leute! Haltet euch ran! Dann kommen sie! Haut rein!
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration.
Now it's downhill to the finish. The sprint looks inevitable. He's moving on to the attack. He's turning the screw. Attack! No need to ask questions. He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out. We'll have to keep something in reserve if we want to get away in the final kilometers.
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration.
the way over. Final kilometre. Victory will be decided in the sprint.
Watch out! You'll soon have no more energy for an attack.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We done, lads. Congratulations to you. Hi guys, welcome to the brief. The result is clearly not up to my expectations, guys. It isn't catastrophic, but when you've got victory in mind, it's obviously a disappointment. This result is clearly not up to my expectations. It isn't catastrophic, but when you've got victory in mind, it's We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is, you didn't prove me wrong. We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is... We could have hoped for better than a top 5 place today. The podium seemed possible. It's a pity. We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is, you didn't prove me wrong. The podium is good, but I was expecting more from you. We should have won. The result is clearly not up to my expectations, guys. It isn't catastrophic, but when you've got victory in mind, it's obviously a disappointment. We really messed up this stage. We were aiming for a stage win, and we didn't even... We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is, you didn't prove me wrong.
Hello and welcome to all. Sitting in the middle of the Tour de France, this stage is a key moment in the race for the yellow jersey. The two ascents of the Mont Ventoux, the giant of Provence, will be both the major attraction and the major difficulty of the day. However, the summit will not mark the finish of this stage. And it will require qualities as a descender to cross the finishing line as winner. The first classified climb for the mountains classification carries a 4th category label. The first at the top scores 1 point. The next King of the Mountains summit is ranked as a 3rd category. Only the first 2 riders over the top will score points towards the best climber classification.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. There's plenty of damage at the back of the peloton. It will be a long day in the saddle for those who fall behind. Guys, don't forget to protect our leader. Communication is important. That's why we have team calls. front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit.
The feed zone is approaching for the front of the race. The time to load up on what's necessary to face 2 climbs of Mont Ventoux. The first ascent of the Giant of Provence is now underway for the front of the race. The climb along the eastern flank is longer, but it's also less steep. The average gradient is not much more than 5%. The riders would only hit slopes of over 7% after reaching the Chalet Reynard.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
The breakaway has climbed to the Chalet Reynard. The slope will become much steeper, with percentages far higher than on the first part of the ascent.
The front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit.
The descent towards Malocène is long, but it's neither technical nor treacherous. It will be difficult to open any big gaps. The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
The end of the stage is not far off. Stay awake. It will soon start to move in the peloton.
The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey.
I don't know if it's a bluff, but the breakaway looks to be increasing the pace at the front of the race.
And so the foot is not very hard, but it's better to be well placed from the start rather than expend unnecessary effort later on.
The leader was in danger, but he's once again leading the overall standings.
One and a half minutes lead for the head of the race over the favourites. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey. The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
He's got his guys riding. He must have good legs.
Courage les gars, allez plus vite.
I want you to ride in his track. He's dangerous for the overall standing. A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer.
The riders up front have a 1-minute lead on the favourites group. The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race.
For now, he's the virtual yellow jersey.
Allez, courage les gars, allez plus vite. Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
The first have reached the Chalet Reynard. It will be a little less hard on them for 1 kilometre, the time they catch their breath before facing the final and ever steeper slopes of the Mont Ventoux.
Ride in his tracks. Dangerous for the overall standing.
The gap is 1 minute between the favourites and the guy in the front. As with the first passage over the top, there will be points for the first 8 riders of the summit of Mont Ventoux. However, in addition, this time there will be time bonuses for the first 3 riders. 8, 5 and 2 seconds for the general classification. The lead rider has 30 seconds on the favourites. The observatory is in sight for the head of the race. Another 3 kilometres of climbing for the man at the front. If he goes over the top of Mont Ventoux on his own, he should have no problem carrying the day.
He's still got something in the tank. He's putting his foot down in the relay. Reduce speed a bit, otherwise you'll hit the wall. You're 2 kilometers from the summit. Go on, another push. You have 30 seconds lead on the yellow jersey. You've got a 1 minute lead over the yellow jersey.
And the descent is on. Another 22 kilometres for the stage leader, and in a short while, probable winner.
The polka dot jersey has enough lead to be sure to keep it today.
Only 20 kilometres to go before the finish in Malocène. There's only 10 kilometres left for the man at the front. He mustn't let up. He doesn't have much of a lead on the chasers.
You still have 10 kilometers to make up some time.
Allez, plus vite.
Only 5 kilometres before the finishing line. We should witness a solo victory today.
Allez, allez.
Come on, you're going to win. Keep it up.
Final kilometre of this stage.
This is the last kilometer. Go, go. One more effort.
He is all smiles as he climbs onto the podium. Applaud him. Here is the winner of the Sark Manosen stage. He's amongst the leading riders this year. He's amongst the we can say he will climb on.
Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites, and you lived up to the role. We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites, and you lived up to the role with brio. Well done for this win.
Hello, cycling fans everywhere. The succession of climbs and descents will continue without let-up today. Bodies will be sorely tested, and you'll have to keep a clear head on the final descent to come out on top.
Guys, the road starts climbing from the off, so don't hang around at the back of the peloton.
We're at the first classified climb of the stage. There will be 2 points and 1 point to be scored at the top. The breakaway can't widen the gap. Here's a quick reminder on the point system. The first 15 to pass the intermediate sprint score points towards the green jersey. The first scores 20 points. The breakaway can't widen the gap.
You must constantly try to shelter from the wind, so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race. Tempo is increasing at the head of the race. Riders will try and manage the time gap.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey. The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race. The gap with the yellow jersey is melting away. The SKPs will have difficulties going all the way to the finish. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey. The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
The gap with the yellow jersey is melting away. The escapees will have difficulties going all the way to the finish. Breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey. 30 seconds between the breakaway and the yellow jersey.
The lead leader of the general classification does not necessarily have to attack. Depending on his lead, he can simply follow attacks and counter at the very end of the stage.
At 2,408 metres, the Port d'Envalier is the highest summit on this year's Tour de France. There will be 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and 1 point that go towards the mountains classification. The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey.
Guys, after the Port d'Envalier, the descent leading towards the Col de Bec Solis is dead straight. That won't favour a lone rider.
The gap between the favourites group and the front is 30 seconds. Here we go. Oh, the men at the front start on the The 7.4 kilometres of the Col de Bec Solis on an average slope of 7.5%.
Wanted to ride in his track. He's dangerous for the overall standing.
The riders up front have a 1 minute lead on the favourites group. The advance of the lead group should be enough to carry it to the end. This climb is doubly important because, other than the mountain classification, there are time bonuses up for grabs. 8, 5 and 2 seconds for the general classification. The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
Guys, the finish isn't judged at the top, but you've got to ride as if it is. Because after the summit, it's just downhill for 14 kilometers. Even if it's a tricky descent, it will be possible to hold out against being caught from behind. Go!
Okay, pocket film of beef.
The man at the front now has the steepest percentages of this mountain pass behind him. Will he get to the finishing line on his own?
He's attacking, whatever you do. Don't let him build a lead. He's still got something in the tank. He's putting his foot down in the relays. You are 2 kilometers from the summit. Watch your opponent. He's being left behind. It's good news for the overall standing.
At just 1 kilometre from the summit, one man is alone at the front. But he's got a slim lead. There's everything left to play for. No one has managed to get away on his own at the front of the race. Everyone seems to be on the par. It will take cunning to surprise your opponents.
You were first over the top of the climb. That's good. You're on your way to the top spot of the white jersey standings. It's great. Keep going, kid.
There are only 10 kilometres left for the group at the front. We're heading towards a small group sprint.
You still have 10 kilometers to make up some time.
Only 5 kilometres before the finishing line. We should witness a solo victory today.
You're going to win. Keep it up.
Final kilometre of this stage.
This is the last kilometer. Go. One more effort. Watch out. You'll soon have no more energy to attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, he tops the, we can say that.
Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites, and you lived up to the role with brio. Well done for this win. We take the yellow jersey. It's a perfect day.
Hello and welcome to all. Today's stage is promised to the baroudeurs. Too difficult for pure sprinters, not selective enough for the favourites. It would be surprising to see the teams lay down a heavy tempo behind the early breakaway. So we should see a fair share of riders aiming to take the lead. But as usual, taking the right opportunity won't be as simple as it seems.
The green jersey will not change any more today. The leader is ahead by enough points. Watch out, lads. With downhill start, you can't afford to react late to any attacks if you want to be part of the early breakaway. If the peloton sits up, the gap will soon widen.
One and a half minutes for the breakaway. It might just work. The first difficulty is underway for the riders. It's the Col de Pau, with a climb of more than 15 kilometers.
You must constantly try to shelter from the wind, so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race.
This first pass is classified as first category for the mountains classification. Riders can therefore score 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and 1 point at the top. The front of the race is approaching the intermediate sprint. It will be fought out at the foot of the day's second difficulty, the Col de la Cor.
The front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit.
The breakaway increased its lead on the yellow jersey group.
I don't know if it's a bluff, but the breakaway looks to be increasing the pace at the front of the race.
The front of the race is beginning the final classified climb of the stage, the Col de Porte d'Aspet. From the top, there will be a little over 30 kilometers to the line. It's hard to envisage a decisive attack that would allow for a solo finish.
Ride in his tracks. He's dangerous for the overall standing.
The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
Continuez comme ça!
Go, guys. You've got to keep up the rhythm to defend the yellow jersey.
Less than 20 kilometers left for the group at the front. There's 15 kilometers to go. There are no more classified climbs, but there's a small hill that could spice up the finish. Sitting less than 10 kilometers from the line and 1 kilometer long, it's the last chance to avoid a sprint. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey.
I want you to ride in his tracks. He's dangerous for the overall standings.
Un poco más, venga. Venga. Venga, chavales.
The red pennant is in sight at the front of the race.
The breakaway is 1 kilometer from the finishing line.
The riders up front have a 1 minute lead on the favourites group.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, he's amongst them. He's in. He will climb. He tops the...
We really messed up this stage. We were aiming for a stage win, and we didn't. It'll be a very demanding...